They told you intelligence was a number, an IQ score, a test grade, a diploma on a wall. They said being smart meant memorizing facts and solving problems fast. That was a lie. Real intelligence has nothing to do with school. It isn't about sounding smart. It's about power. True intelligence is leverage. It's survival. It's the ability to shape your reality before reality shapes you. Machiavelli understood this. History's great strategists understood this. While most people were trying to look smart, a few were learning how to become powerful. There is a hidden hierarchy in this world, a ladder that decides who leads and who follows, who eats and who gets eaten. Most people never climb it. They think they're making choices, but they're living on a script written by someone else. But some wake up. There are 7 levels of intelligence, 7 stages of awareness. And today, we're going to strip away the illusion and show you exactly where you stand. This will be uncomfortable. You will start seeing people differently. You'll notice the strings, the patterns, the silence behind their eyes. Once you see this hierarchy, you can never unsee it. The only question is, are you ready to find out where you rank? Let's begin. Level 1, the loud mind. The room goes quiet. Then someone fills it with noise. They speak fast. They interrupt. They want to be seen as the smartest one there. And right away, something feels off. Machiavelli warned about this type centuries ago. He believed that the mind that needs attention is often the mind that lacks control. True power doesn't announce itself. It positions itself. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The loud mind mistakes noise for intelligence. Let me show you what that looks like. A young guy in a meeting talks over everyone. He throws out ideas before anyone finishes a sentence. He smiles when people look at him. He believes confidence is the same as competence. But watch closely. When someone challenges him, he gets sharp. When someone knows more, he deflects. He isn't building influence. He's protecting his image. And that's the first mask of intelligence. Noise. It looks impressive at first, but it collapses under pressure, because real intelligence doesn't fight for space. It creates gravity. Here's what Machiavelli understood. Those who need to prove their power rarely have it. People who truly see the board don't rush to speak. They wait. They measure the room. They let others reveal themselves first. Now ask yourself something uncomfortable. When you speak, are you adding clarity? Or are you trying to be noticed? There's a difference. A woman in a group discussion once said almost nothing for 30 minutes. No interruptions, no show, no performance. Then she leaned forward and said one sentence. It cut through the noise. The room shifted. Everyone listened, not because she was loud, but because she was precise. That's the first crack in the loud mask. Here's the part most people miss. The loud mind doesn't just weaken influence. It invites challenge. When you talk too much, people test you. They interrupt you back. They push you. They stop taking your words seriously. Silence makes people careful. Noise makes people bold. And this is why Machiavelli valued restraint. Not because silence is weakness, but because silence forces others to expose their thinking. Now listen carefully. If you are always the one filling the space, You never get to see who your opponents really are. You don't see their doubts. You don't hear their strategies. You don't notice when they slip. You're too busy performing. Let me press you with a mirror question. Do you speak to be understood or to be admired? That answer decides your level, because intelligence is not volume, it's control. The loud mind chases recognition. The disciplined mind commands it without asking. And here's the reframe that separates the powerful from the performative. When you speak less, your words gain weight. When you stop competing for attention, attention starts seeking you. Machiavelli would say this plainly. The one who talks the most reveals the most. The one who waits governs the game. So, if you're wearing the first mask, the loud one, understand this. It doesn't make you strong. It makes you readable. And in any game of power, being readable means being controllable. You don't need to impress the room. You need to command it. And that starts by learning when not to speak. Level 2, the sleeper. At first, no one notices them. They sit back. They don't compete for attention. They don't try to sound smart. And because of that, people underestimate them. Machiavelli understood this type well. He believed that the greatest advantage in any game is being misjudged. When others think you are harmless, average, or slow, they stop guarding themselves. That is where power quietly begins. The sleeper is not loud, not flashy, not eager to prove anything. They watch. Let me show you what this looks like. There's a man at work who never argues in meetings. He nods, takes notes, says very little. Most people assume he has nothing important to add. But behind the silence, he's mapping everything. Who wants credit? Who avoids responsibility? Who controls decisions without a title? While others speak to be seen, he studies to understand. This is the second mask of intelligence. Stillness. Not empty stillness. Strategic stillness. Here's the uncomfortable truth. People reveal everything when they think you're not a threat. They speak freely around you. They lower their guard. They show their fears, their habits, their weaknesses. And you collect information without resistance. Machiavelli wrote about this kind of advantage. He believed that appearing ordinary is often the safest position. When no one expects you to move, your move lands hardest. Now ask yourself this. Do you rush to show what you know? Or do you let others show you who they are? Because one gives attention, the other gives leverage. A student once sat in class for weeks without raising his hand. Everyone assumed he was lost. Then one day, when a complex problem was given, he solved it in seconds. The room went quiet, not because he spoke loudly, but because he spoke last. That is the power of the sleeper. Here's what most people misunderstand. Being underestimated is not an insult. It is a strategic position. When people think you are behind, they stop competing with you. They stop blocking you. They stop preparing for you. And that is when you move. But there is a danger here. If you stay asleep too long, you risk being ignored completely. The sleeper must choose the moment. Silence first. Observation second. Action only when the outcome is clear. This is not fear. This is timing. Let me press you with a hard question. Do people around you really know what you're capable of? Or do they see only the version you allow them to see? Because if everyone already understands your limits, you've lost the advantage. Machiavelli would say it without softness. The man who shows his hand too early invites resistance. The man who hides his strength controls the board. The sleeper doesn't chase respect. They wait until their move makes respect unavoidable. And when they finally step forward, it feels sudden, unstoppable, almost unfair. So if you wear this second mask, understand it clearly. You are not behind. You are positioning. Just don't confuse patience with passivity, because the moment you choose to rise, the same people who ignored you will suddenly realize they were never ahead of you. Before we move to third level, if you're getting value from this, tap like and subscribe. It tells me you need more videos like this. Level 3. The calculator. Most people act on emotion. The calculator does not. They pause. They measure. They choose. And that single habit makes them dangerous in a world ruled by impulse. Machiavelli understood this type deeply. He believed that power belongs to those who think in outcomes, not feelings. While others react in the moment, the calculator acts for the result. This is not coldness. This is control. Let me show you what this looks like. A woman is offered a promotion at work. It sounds exciting. More status, more attention, more pressure. Most people would say yes instantly. Ego first, emotion first. She doesn't. She asks one question. What does this cost me in the long run? More hours, more politics, less freedom. She declines. 6 months later, the department collapses under stress and blame. Careers are damaged. Reputations fall. She walks past the chaos untouched. That is the calculator. Not because she feared risk, but because she calculated consequence. This is the third mask of intelligence. Thinking in outcomes. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't decide. They react. They say what feels good. They choose what looks impressive. They move because they feel pressure. And later, they pay for it. The calculator plays a different game. They ask, what happens after this? What does this give me tomorrow? What door does this close forever? Machiavelli wrote that the wise ruler never acts from desire alone. He weighs the future like a chessboard. Every move chosen not for emotion, but for advantage. That same principle rules this mind. Picture a man in an argument. Someone insults him in front of others. The room waits for him to snap. His jaw tightens. He feels the heat, but he doesn't speak. Not because he is weak, because he sees the outcome. If he explodes, he looks unstable. If he defends, he looks insecure. If he stays calm, the other person exposes themselves. He lets the moment pass. Later, when the room is quieter, he makes one precise statement that shifts everything. And suddenly, the power changes hands. This is calculation, not silence for fear, silence for advantage. Now, ask yourself something hard. How many of your past mistakes came from emotion instead of thought? How many choices felt right in the moment and hurt later? The calculator refuses that cycle. They don't chase satisfaction. They choose position. They don't seek applause. They secure outcomes. But here is the danger of this mask. Over-calculation can become paralysis. If you wait forever for the perfect move, you never move at all. The calculator must know when the numbers are good enough, not perfect, just favorable. Because power is not about certainty, it is about advantage. Machiavelli would say it plainly: those who act with foresight rule those who act with feeling. And when the world runs on emotion, the one who thinks becomes the one who controls. So understand this mask. You are not cold. You are strategic. You are not slow. You are precise. You don't move when it feels right. You move when it is right. And when others finally realize what you've done, the result is already locked in. They react. You already calculated. Level 4. The puppeteer. Most people try to win by force. The puppeteer wins by influence. No shouting, no commands, no visible control. And yet, things move exactly how they want. Machiavelli understood this mind better than almost anyone. He believed true power is not in orders, but in shaping what others choose to do. Not pushing people, guiding them. This is the fourth mask of intelligence. Control without being seen. Let me show you how it works. A team is arguing over who should lead a new project. Voices rise. Egos collide. One person stays quiet. Later, in a private conversation, they say something simple. You'd be great at this. But it could also damage your reputation if it fails. That seed lands. By the next meeting, the loudest voice suddenly steps back. Someone else takes the role. And the quiet one? They become the trusted advisor behind the scenes. No authority, no title, full influence. That is the puppeteer. They don't control people directly. They control the direction. This intelligence understands one brutal truth. People believe they are choosing freely, when in reality, they are being guided. Most try to dominate. The puppeteer designs outcomes. They know what motivates each person. Status, fear, comfort, approval, security. And they speak to that pressure point softly. Never obvious. Never aggressive. Machiavelli warned that open force creates resistance. But subtle influence creates obedience without conflict. That is why this mask is dangerous. Now think about a common moment. A manager wants someone to work late. Most would order it, or guilt them. The puppeteer says instead, "This project will decide who gets noticed." Suddenly, people volunteer. Same result. Zero confrontation. This is not manipulation for chaos. This is mastery of human behavior. But here's the mirror you must face. How often have you been guided without realizing it? You changed your opinion after one comment. You backed down after someone framed the risk differently. You agreed to something that felt like your idea, but wasn't. The puppeteer does not fight you. They redirect you. This mask sees people as moving parts in a system, not emotionally, strategically. But there is a line. When influence becomes control for selfish destruction, it poisons everything. Power without ethics becomes collapse. Machiavelli himself warned that influence must be used carefully, because the same mind that can build loyalty can also create enemies when exposed. The greatest puppeteers are invisible. They don't take credit. They don't seek applause. They let others believe the outcome was natural. And when things succeed, no one knows who truly moved the pieces. This is not weakness. This is dominance without fingerprints. So ask yourself this: do you try to force people, or do you shape the conditions that guide them? Because in the real world, the one who moves others without being seen is never challenged. They are never attacked. They are already in control. Level 5, the operator. Some people talk about intelligence, others execute it. The operator doesn't impress with ideas. They impress with results. Machiavelli believed power does not belong to the loud, the emotional, or the flashy. It belongs to the one who can act while others hesitate, not the one who explains, the one who moves. This is the 5th mask of intelligence. Silent efficiency. No drama. No announcements. No wasted motion. Just outcomes. Let me show you what this looks like. A company is falling behind. Meetings go in circles. Everyone has opinions. Nothing changes. One person doesn't argue. They reorganize the workflow. They remove the slow steps. They quietly fix what's broken. A week later, performance jumps. Not because of motivation, because of execution. No speech, no credit, just results. That is the operator. They don't get stuck in emotion. They don't need approval. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They see what must be done, and they do it. Machiavelli warned that those who rely only on words become powerless. Action creates reality. Talk only describes it. The operator understands something most people avoid. The world does not reward intention. It rewards completion. Here's a moment you've seen before. A problem appears. Everyone complains. Everyone explains why it's difficult. One person steps forward. They take responsibility. They handle the details. They close the loop. When it's done, people say, "How did you make that happen so fast?" They didn't move fast. They just didn't waste time. That's the difference. The operator does not argue with chaos. They restructure it. They don't ask, "Why is this happening?" They ask, "What is the next move?" And they make it. But here's the part that separates this mask from the others. The operator doesn't need to be seen. They don't build identity on attention. They build leverage on reliability. When something must be handled quietly, efficiently, and without mistakes, they are the one called. Not because they speak best, because they finish. Now pause for a second. Who do people depend on when things get serious? Who do they trust when there is no time for excuses? Is it the one who talks, or the one who delivers? Machiavelli understood this harsh truth. Those who control outcomes control perception. If you produce results, you become necessary. If you become necessary, you become powerful. The operator is rarely admired in public, but they are respected in private. And when real decisions are made behind closed doors, their name is already on the list. No noise, no ego, just control through competence. So ask yourself this: do you explain what you could do, or do you quietly make things happen? Because in a world full of talk, the one who executes without announcement will always stand above the rest. Send the next mask when you're ready. Level 6. The Architect. Most people react to the world. The architect designs it. They don't chase moments. They build systems that create them. Machiavelli understood this kind of mind deeply. He believed lasting power does not come from winning one move, but from shaping the board itself. Not playing harder, designing the game. This is the 6th mask of intelligence. The mind that thinks in structure, not emotion. Let me show you what that looks like. Two people face the same struggle. Bills, pressure, uncertainty. One looks for quick fixes, overtime, short-term wins, constant hustle. The other steps back. They change where their time goes. Who they speak to, what they learn, what they stop doing. Months later, one is still fighting the same fires. The other is living in a different reality. Same effort, different design. That is the architect. They don't ask, how do I survive this week? They ask, what system makes this problem disappear forever? Machiavelli warned that those who only respond to events are always behind. But those who shape conditions control the future. The architect doesn't rush. They map. They see patterns where others see chaos. They build structures where others depend on luck. Here's a moment you've lived. Someone keeps falling into the same mistakes. Same conflicts, same money stress, same burnout. They blame people. They blame circumstances. The architect asks something colder but more powerful. What structure is creating this outcome? Then they change the structure. Different habits, different environment, different rules for their own life. And the result changes. Not because of motivation, because of design. This is where intelligence becomes dangerous. Because once you understand systems, you stop fighting individuals. You redesign the process that controls them. Machiavelli knew that real rulers did not just command people. They shaped laws, traditions, expectations. They built invisible frameworks that made obedience feel natural. That is architect-level thinking. You don't argue with the storm. You build the roof. You don't chase every opportunity. You design a life where the right ones come to you. Now here is the uncomfortable question. How much of your life is by intention, and how much is by default? Who designed the schedule you follow? The standards you live by? The limits you accept? Was it you? Or did you inherit a system without ever questioning it? The architect does not wait for permission. They create the structure that others later operate inside. They don't need constant effort. They need correct design. Once the foundation is right, everything else becomes easier. That's why this mask feels unfair. While others burn energy every day, the architect moves inside a system they built. Less struggle, more leverage. And the most dangerous part? No one sees it happening. People only notice the outcome. So ask yourself this. Are you reacting to the world, or quietly designing the life you will live inside 5 years from now? Because the one who builds the structure never has to fight the chaos. They already control it. Level 7. The Void. There is a kind of intelligence most people fear. Not because it is loud, not because it is aggressive, because it is empty. Machiavelli understood this long before psychology gave it a name. He wrote that what cannot be read cannot be controlled. What cannot be predicted cannot be attacked. Power, when stripped of noise, becomes dangerous. This is the seventh mask of intelligence. The void. No reaction. No explanation. No emotional surface. Just nothing. Let me show you what that really means. Someone tries to provoke you. A comment meant to sting. A question designed to expose you. A challenge meant to pull you into defense. Most people respond instantly. They justify. They explain. They defend. You don't. You look at them. Calm. Still. You give them nothing to grab. And something strange happens. They begin to speak more. They fill the silence. They reveal themselves. That is the void. It is not weakness. It is psychological dominance. Machiavelli knew that when you remove your emotional signal, others lose their leverage. They cannot read you. They cannot predict you. They cannot control the direction. The void is not about hiding. It is about becoming unreadable. Here is a moment you've likely witnessed. A meeting grows tense. Two people argue. Voices rise. Egos clash. One person stays silent. No nodding. No visible agreement. No defense. Afterward, everyone wonders, what were they thinking? And that question gives them power. Because when people don't know your position, they hesitate. They second guess. They soften their moves. They watch you more closely. The void changes the room without a single word. But this mask is not easy. Silence feels uncomfortable. Stillness feels vulnerable. The mind wants to speak, to protect, to explain. The void demands something colder. Control. You do not rush to define yourself. You do not rush to correct assumptions. You do not rush to reveal your thoughts. You let others move first. Machiavelli warned that the man who reveals his inner world too quickly gives away the map of his power. Once your motives are known, your moves can be countered. But when your intentions remain unseen, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is protection. Now pause and ask yourself something honestly. How often do you feel the need to be understood? To be seen as good, smart, right, justified? And how often has that need pulled you into arguments, explanations, emotional traps? The void removes that weakness. You stop performing for approval. You stop bleeding information. You stop reacting to every push. You become still, not absent, not passive, untouchable. This does not make you cold. It makes you conscious. Because when you give no emotional surface, manipulation has nowhere to land. People cannot weaponize what you do not offer. They cannot use your fear. They cannot use your anger. They cannot use your need to be understood. There is nothing to hold, only space. And in that space, you see everything. You observe patterns. You read intent. You choose when and if you will ever step forward. Most people rush to exist in every moment. The void chooses when to appear. That is why it is the final mask. Because when you master silence, when you master stillness, when you master the art of giving nothing, you stop being something others can shape. You become something they cannot reach. And in a world built on reaction, the one who becomes empty of signal becomes impossible to control. The levels ends here. If this opened your eyes, please like the video and click the subscribe button and step into the architect level. You will unlock exclusive, uncensored videos that dive into the deepest parts of the human psyche. Most won't. That's the point. If you haven't watched my previous video, 8 Ruthless Lessons That Make You Dangerously Smart, you're missing the foundation that makes these 7 levels of intelligence actually work. Think of this video as strategy. That 1 is your armor. You'll find it linked below and on the end screen.